Hello everybody, welcome back and happy Tuesday to you all. I hope you had a wonderful last couple of days. Thought we'd start outside today since it's bright and sunny, and I'd show you, well, a couple of the pepper plants that I'm already starting to sort of bring outside. I am bringing them back into the house at night. I realize that is a pest issue and I was just going off about that, but whatever, I'm not taking the chances with them and the cold temperatures. So right now we've got the big beautiful El Oro de Ecuador out here, and we also have the coffee can Aji Penic. So let's take a quick look at those, then we'll run down into the dungeon and kind of discuss what I'm leaning towards as a plan. I'm not ready to say it's a full-on plan yet, but I'm kind of leaning towards it. So yeah, let's look at those peppers. So this is day 2 for the El Oro, coming and going. So far I've only broken one branch off of this, so that's kind of exciting. And while I can't see it now, I could have sworn when it was sitting on the dryer last night, I found the very beginnings of flower starts in there. So I am very, very hopeful that I'm not about to kill this plant, and it will be nicely productive starting right away for me. So that is good, darn right excellent. And then, as I mentioned, I believe it was on Sunday, the Aji Penic in the coffee can here is the one I've decided to bring out and, well, test a few theories with. And we can see there are just loads of flowers already on that look like they're kind of spent. So there's a good chance that they might be already forming peppers for me. But I have seen a few bees out and about, so I'm hoping they'll, kick in a little effort in this too, and we will have a wonderfully productive Aji Penic. Figure in the coffee can, the best way to go, super easy for me to tell if it's got enough moisture or not, and super easy for it to draw up as much as it needs to deal with being in the sun. So I'm very hopeful that this will work for me. Just in case, I've got them nice and close to the spruce trees here. If they start to look wilty, move them into the shade, let them rest up a little bit, and bring them back out. I will make this work. So I apologize for the change in the light spectrum there, but we're down here in the dungeon, which kind of makes that make sense. And I've got a few of these coffee can peppers that are doing, I'd say, fairly well, compared to everything else. And I'm seriously thinking about letting the larger ones go outside to just kind of test that theory with our spring and summer and, well, short grow season. But I don't know. I don't necessarily want to try it with the smaller ones, but I figure with these larger ones it'll be okay. I mean, they've got so much root mass. This is the super chili. It's doing all right. It's got plenty to draw up the moisture as it needs it over the course of the day. And even this crimson red here, it's got some length to it. It reaches all the way to the bottom of the coffee can, so it's good there. One thing I wanted to point out, because I really never expected to happen, is the little pepper at the bottom of that is actually taking some color. I thought for sure that it would just stay green forever, eventually kind of fall off, but it is getting some actual red on there. And this isn't even with the bloom spectrum on, because that changes the light even more. Takes us to this kind of a reddy color. But I figure since so many things down here are clearly in a grow, don't flower stage, we'll save half the hydro and only use half the light. There are quite a few of these that are basically ready to go into coffee cans. So I'm thinking my long-term plan for this season is I'm going to take out the larger coffee can peppers. I'm going to save enough to basically cover this table, and I want to be able to move the other LED light over here so it's kind of balanced and I've got this whole space available to me. But I'm going to save enough pepper plants to put in the coffee cans. To do that comfortably, everything will have some room to grow. I can get some air circulation with a little rotating fan, and that'll be good. But otherwise, I want to be able to empty the downstairs grow space. I need to fix those lights, so that's should be emptied soon enough anyway. Mostly that's all tomatoes, and I can just turn those off quite easily. So yeah, then I can get jumped on changing things, making for a better environment for next year. Because I have set goals. They seem crazy, but ultimately, if your goal doesn't make somebody shake their head, maybe you haven't shot high enough with your goal. I don't know. I was always kind of taught to shoot for the moon, because even if you miss, you're still up there, aren't you? So yeah, let's talk about that for a second then. So I was joking with Shocks, and we were talking about the size of the property that we used to live on, and we figured basically if I planted pepper rows at 2 feet apart and then the rows themselves were 3 feet apart, it would take basically 34 rows of 15 peppers each to equal the entire property that we came from, which ultimately boils down to some 510 pepper starts. So my goal is, by this time next year, I want to have 510 peppers that are ready to go outside, we'll say by mid-May, definitely by the 1st of June. It's definitely up here and going to require some rearranging, so like I say, I'm going to take out most of this stuff and give myself a good opportunity to start from scratch, just build what I need and get it done right. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see over the next few months. I get some basement renos while everything grows outside. Very cool. Anywho, yeah, I just kind of wanted to show you the plants that are out there now already and show you that the Crimson Red has actually got some red on it. And I guess otherwise we'll catch up on some of the other basement dungeon kind of garden stuff tomorrow. See you then.